Peace and power. This is Brother Psyche, and we back at it again. First video I'm gonna drop for the beginning of the year. It's officially 2020, at least that's what they telling everybody. Anyway, the last video I dropped was called "Get Those Squares Out of Your Circle." The 7 type of people that you need to make sure you keep out of your circle. Well, a friend of mine, me and a close partner of mine, we sat down and we was building, and he told me, he said, "Man, I love the last video you did." He said, "But I need you to do something for me." He said, "I got a special request." He said, "Because a lot of time when we talk about self-development, we like to come at this thing from a negative point of view, meaning we wanna put the subtraction next to things. What do we need to take out? What do we need to take out?" He said, "But what I would like is you to do a flip to that same video you just did. Instead of telling me the people I need out of my circle, I would like to know the type of people that I need to put in my circle." So today's video, in the beginning of the new year, what we're going to talk about is the 5 people that you want to maintain in your circle. So this is for you, Pharaoh. The guy Pharaoh asked for this. I'm getting it to him. Let's build on it. The first person that I want to point out that you need in your circle is creators. Creative and imaginative people. Because if you got a creative and imaginative minds around you, then they can come up with ideas for everything that you can possibly think of in your life. See, I'm going to give a good example of that. I am more of a concrete thinker. I'm a mathematical thinker. So because I'm such a concrete, logical, rational type of person, I'm not really an artist. I'm not a creative person. But I have people around me. I have close partners around me that are extremely creative. People that build things. My partner Pharaoh, for instance, to give you a good example of him. He's an artist, and he can paint, he can draw. He does leather work, and right now one of his main businesses is that he make oil barrel chairs, and he makes them for sports teams, things of this nature, and that's his booming business right there. Anyway, he's creative. His mind can look at something and not see it for what it is. He can see it for what it would become. Once he comes up with a good creative idea, my mind can look at that creative idea and then draw the blueprint for how to make that successful. That's what I'm good at, not the creative part. So I need people around me that are extremely creative. And a lot of times the creative artists need people around them that can do the mathematical thinking so we can bounce ideas off each other. So you want to always have the creative and imaginative person in your circle. Second, you want to have the people who support the moves that you make. And this is simple. You know, you don't want to have yes men and yes women, people that's just nodding along with everything you do, because that leads to what I'm going to talk about on the third person. But you want to have people that support the moves that you make. If you do YouTube, then you want to have people that check out your YouTube channel, like your videos, subscribe to your channel. I got a close partner of mine. Every time I drop a YouTube video, he drops the link on his Facebook page. So, and that's his way of supporting. That's his way of trying to spread it out, share the information. One thing about people who support you, you know they want to see you win. They are always there to applaud every move that you make. They understand something. My mother taught me this growing up, and I've never been a hater. I've never been jealous. I never prayed for anybody's downfall. I've always wanted to see my team win. Because one thing I truly believe is, if we on the same team and you win and I'm winning, everybody on the Bulls team, when the Bulls won a championship, everybody on the team got a ring. I don't care if you knew their name or not. When the Lakers won a championship, everybody on the team got a ring. I don't care if you knew their names or not. And this is the concept you got to come at. And I'm going to go into the negative just a little bit because I talked about it on the other video. If you have not watched the video, Get Those Squares Out of Your Circle, check that video out. But some dudes believe that if you win, there's not enough, they believe there's not enough sun for everybody. So if you getting a little light and shine, then they going to lose light and shine. I swear to God, there is enough sun for everybody on the planet. I guarantee it. So you want to make sure you keep people around you that support the moves that you make. And the way you know they're supporting the moves that you make, if you open the store, they come buy things from you. If you doing YouTube, Instagram, whatever, they liking and loving everything that you post. Whether they watching it or not, they liking and loving everything you posting. That's how you see who on your team. You know, and since I've been doing this YouTube thing, I've seen a few people that's not on the supportive side. They pretend they are, but they're not. Because I done had a conversation with them and they be like, man, that was beautiful, that was live. And I'm like, I did a video on that a couple of months ago. Lets me know they're not checking it out. But you want to keep people around you that support the moves that you make. 3, you want to keep those around you or keep people in your team that understand the concept of constructive criticism. That's number 3. Now I'm going to explain this. There's 2 types of criticism. There is negative criticism and constructive criticism. U.P. Newton in I believe it's in I can't remember the name of the book. I'll come to it in a minute. It'll pop in my head. But Revolutionary Suicide. Huey P. Newton in the book Revolutionary Suicide, he called these 2 types of criticism: reactionary criticism and revolutionary criticism. Reactionary criticism is the type of criticism that a person uses to try to put you down and make you look bad so they can make themselves look bigger. You don't want that person in your circle. That's a hater. Revolutionary criticism is people that see mistakes that you're making, thought processes that you have, and they come at your aid and they check you and they let you know the mistakes that you're making. They let you know that, hey, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't make those type of moves, you need to do this, or that's a foolish plan to go after, and this is why, and they're able to break it down. And you got to be man or woman enough to accept criticism. A lot of people's ego is so frail and so fragile, they can't accept criticism. But you have to be able to accept that, because one thing about it, people who cannot accept criticism usually end up constantly repeating the same failures over and over again. So you want people around you bold enough, strong enough, and intelligent enough to give you constructive criticism. 4th, you want to have mentors. Now, I don't care how old you are, how much you think you know, you always need people around you that have the ability to mentor you. And how do you know they have the ability? It's 2 things they need to have. 1 or 2 things they need to have. Either they have to already be where you're trying to go, or they have to be trying to go in the same direction. See, I got partners around me that want the same things that I want out of life. So they're studying the same type of things I'm studying. They're building the same type of ways that I'm building. Now, they have different experiences in life than I have. So they see things that I don't see, just like I see things they don't see. And again, we're able to rub ideas across each other. I came up with the idea of get the squares out of your circle. My partner came up with the idea of what are the people that you need in your circle. It's just a basic, simple reason why you want to have people around you that you can listen to, that you can bounce ideas off of, and that you can get wise advice from. The other type are the people that are already where you want to be. You want to be a millionaire, you need to have a millionaire as a mentor. You want to be a public speaker, a motivational speaker, you need to find you a motivational speaker as a mentor, people who can guide you and teach you and give you the things that you need to learn. And you have to be humble enough to accept these lessons. In the 10 virtues of a student, and I've expressed this before in past videos, if you've been watching my videos, we created a manhood training class that helps move a man from boyhood to kinghood to his highest level. And one of the ways to come into this class is by learning the 10 virtues of a student. One of the virtues, I believe, is virtue number 8, is confidence in the master. Now, what this means is this. Let me explain this. Now, I know master has a negative connotation in this society because of the history of slavery in this society. But this is not what master is. Master is someone who has mastered a discipline, like a kung fu master. If you want to train in martial arts, you would want to learn from a martial arts master. You want to learn, if you want to learn carpentry, you want to learn from a master carpenter. You want to learn from a master mason. You want to learn from people who have mastered the craft. So what we submit to and what we respect more than anything is the knowledge itself, because we believe in the knowledge's ability to raise us to our higher levels. The true knowledge is the master. And anybody who has earned and learned the processes and earned the right to have mastery over the field is a master. And you have to have confidence in that person. That person knows what they're talking about. If you refuse to have confidence in them, you can't learn from them. If you don't believe that they know what they're talking about, you can't learn from them. And if you know they know what they're talking about, but your ego makes you feel weak from learning from somebody else, you'll run them out of your life. So you have to have confidence in the master. I'm going to give a good example. When I first started working at the job that I work at now, I'm a machine operator. And I was first learning the processes of operating the machine. Well, there's this 62-year-old Mexican guy that works at the same job I work at. And he works the other machine, opposite of the one that I work. He's been doing this, I want to say, 15 years. At the time, I probably had been learning the machine maybe a good 4 or 5 months. Anyway, the dude that was training me was off work this particular day. So I had to go to this thing all on my own. So I finally started having a problem. I'm not going to get into the full details, because to give you the full details, you'd have to understand what the hell a TSM is and what the process is. And I'm not going to get into all that. But I started having a problem with the machine that I was operating. So I went and got the older guy and brought him over and showed him my problem. Now my problem was at the front of the machine. He saw my problem quickly and then started heading to the back. I'm like, hey, where you going? My problem is up here. Where you going? He said, oh, I got it. I said, no, my problem up here. But he went to the back, and it was a section of the machine that was causing the boards to come out incorrectly. And by the time they got to the front of the machine, that's what was producing my problem. He fixed that in the back and told me to start it up, and then boom, my machine started running. And see, at first I didn't have confidence in him. But see, he has been doing it so long that he saw that and he automatically knew where it was coming from. It ain't coming from where we see the problem at. The problem is way somewhere else. And a lot of times that's like real life. You'll be looking at what you're going through and what you're dealing with right now. And you'll be trying to find the problem in right now, when the truth is your present is a direct reflection of what you did in the past. Where you are at, how you're behaving, how you're conducting yourself is a direct reflection of how you thought, how you behaved in the past. You created this reality based off of past actions, and you're going to create your future based off present actions. So you want to keep mentors around you, people that have the ability to give you guidance. Last but not least, most important, matter of fact, it's fourth from least, it's most important, you want to keep thinkers around you. Someone who can think. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking to yourself right now that, oh man, everybody think, but everybody doesn't think. Everybody doesn't think. Just because thoughts roll through your mind don't mean you're thinking. That's like saying I'm the tallest midget. It's an oxymoron. It goes against itself. No, everybody does not think. Most people have thought drifts. Thoughts drift through your mind without any regulation on a constant and consistent basis. And that's a difference from thinking. Thinking is an organized process. In the process of thinking, three things are taking place with real thinking. When thinking occurs, you observing, you discriminating, and then you're concentrating. Those are the three elements that go along with thinking. Because things are around you all over, every day, every single day. The earth is 196,940,000 square miles. So you see things and you hear things, and it's all kind of phenomenon taking place every single day. And you cannot effectively watch and pay attention to all of it. So first you observe phenomena. You observe the things in your reality. Then you discriminate. Discrimination deals with making a decision of what's important and what deserves your attention and what does not. Certain things deserve your attention more than other things. When I was in the process of rebuilding myself because of the situation I found myself in, I didn't watch TV, I didn't play no games. I used to tell people all the time, I don't play games, I don't watch them. That's what I used to tell people, because the people playing the games that we watch on television already got theirs. It's time for us to be learning the knowledge in order to get ours. And so you have to discriminate about the things that you give your attention to. And then once you have made a wise decision about the things that you want to focus on, then you have to concentrate on them. You got to give them your undivided attention. There's really no such thing as what they call it, multitasking. There's really no such thing, because once you take your attention off one thing and start trying to do two things at the same time, then you'll divide your attention. If you had 100% focused attention on this one thing, now you got 50% divided between two. If you divide it between three, you'll have like 33.3% divided between three, and so on and so on and so on. So you need to focus and concentrate. And that's what a thinker is able to do. A thinker is able to take our time to focus, and then that thinker can show you how to think. One of the things from the book of Proverbs, in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 14, it says that there is safety in a multitude of counselors. Think about that. King Solomon said, or quoted, said that there is safety in a multitude of counselors. So if the world is this jungle and it's a dangerous place and there's danger out there, then the safest place I can be is in a multitude of counselors, a multitude of wise men and women that are able to give me correct advice because they have the ability to think. And Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, one of the things that he talked about as far as when you're trying to move toward wealth and gaining power is the mastermind alliance. He said that all people in powerful positions have a mastermind alliance, a team that they can sit with and build ideas off of. So one very important thing that you need to have in your life is a thinker. And I know that was it. I said 5, but if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus, and this is for the men. Now, I don't think you need it, but if you're going to have a woman in your life, I don't think you need a woman. But if you gotta have a woman in your life, then you gotta make sure it's a certain type of woman. The 6th thing that you need in your life is a queen. Now, every woman is not a queen. A queen is not defined on having a vagina. No, that's not the definition of a queen. I broke down and built on what a king was a few videos back. Check the video out, Signs of a King. And I'm gonna tell you the thing that what a queen is. You know, one of the things about a queen or king, any kind of royalty, usually they wear a crown that represents who they are. Now don't misunderstand, it ain't the crown that makes them a queen. They are a queen, and the crown is only a representation of the queenhood. You know, you don't say, you know what, I'm gonna go through the college graduation ceremony, then I'm gonna have the knowledge of a college graduate. No, you go through the processes. You earn the grades, and once you earn the grades, then you put on the robe and the hat, and you do the whole ceremony. The ceremony is only a representation of what it is that you earn. Just like a baptism. When people go get baptized, they expect something miraculous to happen to them. No, you're supposed to be already made the spiritual change, and the baptism is supposed to be a representation of that. And that's what the crown is for a queen. The crown represents her knowledge. That's what the crown represents. Just like a king's crown is usually gold. It's usually round and it usually have points on it, because a king's crown represents the sun. The sun is round, it's gold, and it has rays or points on it. And the sun shines upon the earth and gives light and heat and life to the planet. Now the queen's crown is usually silver, smaller than the king's crown, and what her crown represents is the moon, because they identify the color of the moon as being silver. And the queen, just like the moon, the queen is supposed to reflect the knowledge of her king, of her man. That's what she is supposed to be able to do. A queen holds herself in a certain standard. See, when you choose the right woman, you got to choose a woman like you choosing a political move. There is no way Barack Obama could have made the presidency if he would have tried to go to the White House with a stripper, with a prostitute. It wouldn't have happened. He had to have a certain type of woman. Every president has been able to move to those positions with a certain type of woman, an intelligent woman, and a woman that was able to even if we didn't see it, give her man guidance and at least make her man look strong. The perfect place, and this is probably one of the most famous scriptures that people use to define the right type of woman, is Proverbs 31. And this is something that need to be understood about the book of Proverbs. In the book of Proverbs, you think of something magical coming out of the sky given to men. Now let me tell you what's going on in the book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is attributed to the King Solomon from Israel. Now, according to ancient teachers, if you want to read and build up on it, read a book called the Kibernakis. According to ancient teachers, the Queen of Sheba, which was actually Queen Makeda of Ethiopia, she heard about the wisdom of Solomon. So she went up and traveled into Israel to go check the dude out, see if his game was on point like they say it was. When she went up there, she found out dude had a lot of knowledge. Like the dude, they did their thing like men and women have always been doing since the beginning of time. She went back to her own kingdom, Ethiopia, which was bigger, more wealthier, and more powerful than Israel, I might add. But she went back to her kingdom and then sent a messenger to Solomon later and let him know, hey, I'm pregnant, you're going to have a son. Well, Solomon, in true OG fashion, he sat down and he said, man, what kind of game is my son going to need to lead? So if you look at Proverbs, look at it, pay attention to it. When it started out, it said, my son, do this, that, there, and the other. My son, do this, that, there, and the other. My son, listen to the wisdom of your mother. My son, listen to it. It is a king giving advice to his young son. And at the end, if you'll pay attention to Proverbs, he sit with a bunch of other kings, a bunch of other of his partners. He's like, hey, I'm sending some game down to Ethiopia to my son. What y'all got for him? And if you'll look at the proverb, it'll say what such and such said to such and so. What such and such said, when we finally get to Proverbs 31, it says, King Lemuel, what his mother taught him. Basically, King Lemuel said, man, look out, Solomon. This is the game my mother gave me. And then he go to kicking the game that his mother taught him about women. And then that's when he give you the Proverbs 31 woman. The Proverbs 31 woman is this virtuous woman who has the ability, she dealing with real estate, she has knowledge. When she moves, she makes her man look good even when he ain't done. This woman is making the clothes for a family. This woman is doing it all. Pay attention to Proverbs 31. And this is the ideal of the type of woman that you need in your life if you're going to have a woman. And so, thank you for watching. And once again, let me give you a quick recap. The people that you want in your circle are creators, people who support your moves, constructive criticizers, mentors, and thinkers. And that's the bonus. If you gotta have a woman, you need to make sure that woman is a queen. This is Brother Psyche. Hopefully you like the content. Subscribe to the channel, like the video or dislike the video. Give me something. Like the video, dislike the video, and give me a comment. Peace. Till next time.